Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Alex and today we're going to talk about masks and layers. I feel like masks and layers are the most important features of Photoshop. So that's why today I'm going to teach you all about why you should use them and how you should use them. So keep watching. So first off, I'm going to show you how you create a layer, and it's super simple. You just press Ctrl Shift N on Windows. Click OK. Now you have an empty layer right here. What you can also do is go to the Layer tab, click on New, and then on Layer. You can also create a layer from the background, a group from layers that you already have. You can also create a new fill layer and a new adjustment layer. Fill layers, like you see right here, you can find here. These are all fill layers, and you can also make a layer from adjustment, new adjustment layer. You've got those right here, and you can find these right here. And I really recommend you have this tab right here. Adjustment layers are the most important layers in my opinion, and I use them so much when editing a photo. I pretty much only work with adjustment layers besides some other stuff to fix some irregularities in a photo, but I think 90% of the work that I do is adjustment layers. And this is really simple. If you want to have an adjustment layer, just click right here, and now you have some curves. So why would you work with layers? Now, well, I'm going to show you. If you were to edit the background photo directly like this, like you go to adjustments right here and you were to click on curves, you could make it a little brighter and you could make it a little darker like this. Let's make it really way too dark. So now if you feel like this is not really what I want, you can go back to adjustments and curves, but the curve is reset, so you can't change it back to the exact original state as where you started with. You'd have to make it a little lighter, but see how much work you're gonna have to do to get it back to where you started with. And it's not gonna look pretty. So instead of doing that, what you wanna do is create this curves layer, the adjustment layer right here. So you automatically make a new layer, and you can just adjust it with here. So now, if you adjust it right there, gonna have the same effect, but if you start doing some other stuff and decide later on that you don't like the result, the layer is still the curves are still where you left them. You can also just reset them. And if you do not want a curves layer at all, you can just delete the layer like this, right click and then delete layer, and that layer is gone. So that's pretty much the beauty of layers. You do not damage the photo whatsoever, and you can play around for a little bit, experiment, be creative, and it will not hurt your photo. So you can try a bunch of different stuff without hurting the photo, and that's most important of all, because we always want to keep this photo intact. So you can make tons of layers. Wow, this is an amazing effect. Tons and tons of layers without that's a great effect. Jesus Christ. Let's make that nice and dark, nice and bright, I mean. Jesus Christ. Anyway, you can have so many layers, and this can be maybe a little overwhelming. This is why I didn't work with layers in the past, because it became such a mess. And one really simple way to organize this is to group them. So you select all the layers and click on Ctrl G. And now you have a group, and we can call this lighting. And if we want to see what the difference is between the original photo and this one, you can just click on the little eye. And if we want to bring that down, this effect as a group, just click on the opacity, and the whole group, all the layers, will have lower opacity as a whole. So now, if we have decided that we really hate this effect, and we do, you should then delete the group and the contents, and you're back at it again. So that was the layer part of this tutorial. So now I'm gonna show you why you should work with masks. And masks are a beautiful thing, except for the word masks itself, because it's so freaking hard to pronounce. Jesus Christ. So I don't know why I did this. A mask is this beautiful thing. I'm gonna show you why it's beautiful. So I'm going to, what am I going to do? Create a new layer, Ctrl Shift N. So we are going to give it a mask just by simply clicking this little button right here, add layer mask, and we are going to make this thing red. And if we want to erase a little part of this hideous red layer, we use black. We make the brush a little bigger, and we just erase it by clicking on that white spot, that white layer, and now it's not there anymore. But if you want it back, you want to have a white pencil, and you can just color that back in. And that's the beauty and magic of working with a layer mask. So if you were to make the same layer and just fill it with red, and you decide that you do not want the red right here anymore, just as we did with the previous layer, we are going to erase this part. But we can't really unerase it. What's erased is still erased. So now you have this erased little spot right there, whereas with this layer, you still have all of the layer, but by just painting this black, you erase the layer, but you can also get it back really easily. Whereas here, you'd have to paint it back in, so you do damage the layer you've created. So, with a little red layer, this would be really simple. But if, for instance, you would create, what are we going to create? Let's make a gradient. Let's make it nice and ugly. And let's screen this. So what if we wanna, oh god, we can't do, Jesus Christ. No, we're gonna do this in another way. No! New layer. Use a gradient. Use this one, same one. Still super ugly. So, if now we are going to erase it, you can't just paint it back in. because you have this gradient and it would be like pretty much impossible to get the exact same layer back. Whereas you would, if you would do it like this, if you want a piece gone, click the black again. Why are you not going? Oh, still got the razor tool. Anyway, black brush. Jesus Christ, I'm such an amateur. Black brush. So now the gradient is gone, just as we did with the previous layer. But now, if we paint it back in the layer mask, it's really easy to get the whole layer back because the layer is just right there. We just made it go away, and now we made it come back. So working with a layer mask makes sure that you never damage a layer forever. You can just always make it go away and make it come back again. Okay, so that is the basic of masks and layers and why you should use them, and this is probably what you've been waiting for. Now I'm going to show you how I use masks and layers to edit a photo. I'm going to speed edit this for a little bit. If you have questions, please ask me. And the coloring techniques that I use are something that I'm going to explain in a next tutorial. So if you do want to see that, leave a comment or DM me, and I will answer all of your questions, and I will explain the coloring techniques in a next tutorial. So